everyone, Mom Mike here. Today's a quick video. We are playing the Liar Princess and the Blind Prince, so let's get right into it. I wanted to showcase a couple of stages from this game. I won't be showing any story, so I'm going to try to avoid any spoilers here because for anyone that wants to play this game, I definitely want you to experience the story. You know, it's a really cute little game. I have added it to the list of games that have made me cry, so there's that. It was a really fun experience. You can play this game, it's about 4 to 5 hours. It's a little bit longer than that if you want to go for all the collectibles, but I had a great time with it and I just wanted to share a little bit of gameplay with you all. The first thing I want to say about this game is the way that it looks. Oh my goodness, I just love how this game looks. I love the pops of color. You look at this game and it looks a little bit drab, it's foggy, it's misty, but then you see, you know, the pops of color in the flower or how our crowns are yellow. It just looks so cool. I also really love the very far distance, just how much depth they put into this. But then also looking to the foreground, the way that we've got plants right up close, those leaves and particle effects. This game just looks incredible, and that's one of the things that drew me to it, and I'm just so happy that I decided to play this game. I do want to showcase a couple things in the pause menu. I know, very exciting things. But there are some cool things in here. So one thing, we do have stage select. So after you've beaten this game, you can go back and go stage by stage if you want to get all the collectibles. The album, this is where you can go back and rewatch some of the cutscenes. If you want to revisit some memories, you can do that there. The collection is actually your reward for doing the collectibles, and what you get here is concept art. I'm not going to show any of them because I don't want to spoil it, but it's wicked cool and it's so neat because they're actually rather detailed with notes and really giving you an in-depth look at not just kind of here's the concept art, but here's the ideas behind it. Here's some notes from the artistic, team. And I think that's really awesome to have a little reward for your collectibles and something that's just so unique, I feel, to this game. We also do have trophies. Some of these you'll get through natural progression, things like killing a certain amount of enemies, and then there's ones that are more specific, like completing a level within a certain amount of time, things like that. I think it's pretty cool to have a trophy system in a Nintendo game. We don't often see trophy or achievement lists in titles that are released on Nintendo platforms. In a lot of ways, that's a good thing. Sometimes I specifically will get a game on a Nintendo platform because I don't want to worry about trophies or achievements. I just want to play the game and enjoy it. But for a game like this that's a really short experience and that's moderately difficult, I say I'm happy to see a little trophy list in here. So with that, let's get right into it. This is a fun little platformer. I will say if you are a platforming expert, this might be too easy for you. You will certainly enjoy the story. It's very well done, and as I said, the visuals of this game are just divine. Just look at it. I just love it. But for me, this was a good little challenge. I'll say the first, stages are fairly easy. Towards the very end, maybe the last 2 worlds, I don't really call it worlds, but towards the last 2 sections of the game, that's where you really kind of see the difficulty increase. For me, it was a little bit of a challenge. I'm not much of a platformer. I don't really play games like this typically. So for me, it was challenging enough that it was still fun. I had a great time. I got a little bit frustrated, but it was fun to overcome that and to finally beat the game. I really had a great time with it. So that's my only thing, is if you are, platforming master, you might say this is too easy for you. But otherwise, it's rated T for teen. I think a lot of people could enjoy this game. I think it is a title that so many people will enjoy. And as I mentioned, I think the difficulty plays into that you can really see a lot of different people experience this title and have fun with it. Now, what are we doing with these buttons? Okay, some of these buttons, once you press them, that's all that there is to it. Sometimes you have to keep both players on the button. That's one of the tricky things about this game, is just knowing, okay, do I have to actually keep us both there or not? Okay, I can't go up there. I've already beat the game anyway, so as tempted as I am... Oh, okay, I do need that one. So, this game is a little tricky sometimes. I need to leave him on the end of this, don't I? Having already beat the game, it's almost trickier to go backwards because then you lose certain abilities, and so you have to try to remember, how did I beat this the first time around when I didn't have that ability? Things like that. There's also, while it gives you this mechanic here of using a key to open a door, it's quite rare. It very rarely has you do that. So it's also too, I kind of completely forgot that that's even a thing, 'cause especially in the later stages, you're not going to be looking for keys to open up doors. It's just not a thing that the game has you do. And so we are going to skip past this. Give me just a moment. Okay, right back into it, but that did remind me of something. So when I did the unboxing for this, I mentioned that when you move towards the end of the stage, the page will turn like a book. And I said that because that's what happened in the trailer for the game. In the original trailer that I had seen that made me really want to play the game, that was something that they showed. And looking back on it now, it was okay. They were just doing that in an artistic way, I suppose, or to highlight that this is a book-themed game. So it doesn't actually do that, as I'm sure you've noticed. It doesn't actually turn the page as we go. Come on, come with me. What are you doing? Oh, I see. He's afraid. Okay. We're gonna go over here ourselves. So that is one thing I want to know. I'm sorry if I misled anyone. I myself was deceived. But I still love the game regardless. That was my only minor disappointment. But each of the little kind of cutscenes is like that, where the page turns and yes, you're presented with it's read to you. The only voice option is Japanese. You don't have other voice options for this. Okay, back again, and let's continue throughout the stage. Oh, panic. Okay, so there are some places where if it's too low, you can't transform because the wolf is too tall. So some of this game will have you going back and forth because in essence, you do have to lead the prince by the hand. He's really is not going to go off on walkabout. You have to lead him. Sometimes though, you'll end up having to kind of go ahead and scout things out and then go back for him. The levels, the stages are short enough though that honestly it's really not a big deal. You're not going to find yourself going very far and then having to go back for him. But that is one little thing that's kind of, built into the game. You will need to go back for the prince occasionally. You might both die and then you'll say, okay, next time I'm going to go ahead first and lead the way. What's going on here? Let's see. Oop, hopping on up. Oop, wrong buttons there. The music of the game is just so soothing. I love it. And each stage has different music, so I really like that. Not each stage, but each section of stages. Typically, you would call them like worlds. In almost any other game, you'd say, oh, in this world, things like that. But in this, you're moving through sections of a forest, because that's our journey, is we're traveling through this deep, dark forest. And so as you go through different sections of it, the music changes, and I like that a lot. It's a great little touch. Oh, there we go. Stay on the turtles. And each section also looks quite different. Once we complete this stage, I'm going to do a stage from a different section just so you can see the contrast. This one is, we have kind of a lot of tans, yellows, some reds in here for colors, and you'll see that the other sections are very different. I really like that. They're each so beautiful and unique. Okay, now we're in a different section, so the music has changed and this section's completely different looking. It's very blue and green, and it's also going to have different enemies, and I really like this game. A lot of it reminds me of like Where the Wild Things Are, especially ourselves, the wolf, how you look very like pen scratchy, very like sketchy, and some of the other enemies have a similar look to that, and it really reminds me of Where the Wild Things Are, which is one of my favorite children's books. I absolutely adore children's books. I mentioned that in the unboxing. But so much of this game has really just enchanted me, and the look, of course, is a huge part of that. I still can't get over the amount of depth, and then also the amount of things that are in the foreground, the things that we pass behind as we go along. It's just incredible. I love the art of this game. And that's part of why I was so stoked when I saw that the reward for doing collectibles was concept art. I'm someone who really likes getting art books in like collector's editions and things like that. I love to see concept art, and I also just love to buy art books. I have a few of them. The Last of Us art book is one of my favorite ones, and seeing the different ways that the characters could have looked, seeing how the concept art evolved into the final product. And so that's why I thought it was such a cool little reward system in this game, to see exactly what the artist was thinking when they designed these characters. And also it made me notice little things about the characters that previously I had not. Let's go across here. Is there anything up here that I need to do before we jump down? Might just be... Oh, come on, jumpity jumps. Oh, it was just collectibles, which I have already gotten. Let's go back down here. Okay. Oh, this level actually had stumped me originally because I just wasn't quite understanding it. As I mentioned, I'm really not much of a platform or puzzle gamer. I don't typically play anything like this that's side-scrolling. These just usually aren't my kind of games. And something about this one though, it was just so charming and cute that I had to play it. I couldn't resist. And I'm really happy though because it took me out of my comfort zone, and it makes me want to play other such games, and maybe I will someday because goodness, this one was really fun. For me, it was a challenge at the end. For some of you more seasoned platformers, it might not be. But for me, it was an enjoyable challenge. Let's see. How do I think I have to put this back on here. Is that the secret? Let's see. Lower that. Okay, yeah, I think I have to put that back. Come on. Boop, boop. Oh, but it's stuck. Why? Oh no. I remember doing this the first time, and it was tricky. There we go. Oop, I need to still be the wolf. Oop. And now we collect our friend, and we are on our way. Some parts of the game have a very lonely feel to them, and it's very, I don't know, almost solemn, somber, maybe that's the word I want. You've got this really soothing music, and you've got these really beautiful forests. Oh man, just the experience of playing through this game, and of course the story that goes with it. I think those guys are infinite. I don't think they're ever gonna stop. You've got the little story that goes alongside it, and all around this was a great experience, and I definitely recommend it. Now, what happens here? This is an example of when I'm going to scout ahead just to make sure that we don't both die, but in this case it's perfectly safe. Boop. Okay, brought us to another section of the game here. Again, a different look. This one is shades of blue, but it's darker, and we've once again got new enemies and new music. I am going to stop talking for a little bit just so we can hear the soundtrack. It's simply beautiful, and none of the songs annoyed me. Each section, the music was unique, and it just went so well with it. I feel like each section was really paired nicely. The visuals to the music went so well together. Oh no. Oh, is he okay? Hooray, he's okay. But let's enjoy just a little bit of the soundtrack. Oh, that was just for collectibles. Okay, that's enough of the soundtrack because I'm getting so lonely just sitting here not talking to you guys. So some of these little puzzles that we have involve the prince will need to hold something. That's one of the abilities you'll gain, is that he can pick things up and actually help you. And one of the things is fire. There's going to be quite a few fire puzzles where you'll have to figure out how to get the flame from one place to another. Oops, oh, am I dead? Have I died? No, I'm alive. I live. Oh no. But that time I died. The death animations are quite funny though, because you just land flat on your face and you're done for. I think it's hilarious. But so, as I said, if you're a really big puzzle and platform gamer, you might think this is very simple, very easy. For me, who I really don't play platformers or puzzle games, this was a nice little challenge and I enjoyed it. And there he is. I lost him in the darkness there. Okay, let's try again. We're going to bring him over to the flame. And now that it's lit, we come right back over here to activate this platform. And this time, we're gonna stay together. And as you see the little save icon down there, this game has frequent checkpoints. For me, that is huge, especially because, as I said, I'm not a big platform gamer. So having, frequent checkpoints means that I get a lot less frustrated and I was a lot less likely to give up. Oh no, as you see, I have died again, but because we just got a checkpoint, I'm gonna keep trying. I'm not gonna give up, because I don't have to replay the whole stage every time I die. So for me, that's a really big deal and something that I thoroughly appreciated. It's the tricky thing is, if you notice that we keep kind of losing each other, when you fall off of a ledge, you even if you keep holding down Y, in this game you have to hold down Y to hold the prince's hand. It's not something that you press a button and release the button if you don't want to hold his hand anymore. You have to hold it the whole time. And so if you are holding Y, even if you are still holding it, you guys will be separated. And sometimes, just due to the physics of the game, you'll end up that he will just fall randomly, or you'll get separated, and then you end up dying. But as I said, frequent checkpoints means that I don't get very frustrated, and that's how someone like me who barely plays platformers was still able to enjoy this game. Okay, I wanted to show one more section of the game and just showcasing how unique these all are. This one, again, with the different colors, this one has a lot of purple in it, but if you look to the far background, you see greens and blues, and right here in front of us, we've still got some reds in here. It's just so beautiful, and this one, again, has its own unique music for it. I just really love this game, and each section of the game that I started, I was delighted with what I saw, and it just got better and better as the game went on. Oh, that's just for a collectible, so we don't need that. and the variety of enemies as well. There's not a ton of different ones throughout the game, but each level has unique enemies, so I think that's a great little touch. Almost like each section of the forest has different creatures that call it home. Let's try to remember how this works here. Oh, okay. So what we need to do... Oh no, get away, get away! We need... Oh, there we go. We need to get him right in the middle. So we have to have our back turned and pop. Okay, I don't know if we can make that jump. I don't think we can make that jump. There we go. That's a jump we can do. To remember how this level worked. These little guys are one of the few exceptions that they appear in multiple levels. For the most part, each section has unique enemies, but these kind of froggy guys and those little dudes appear in a couple different ones. But they are kind of more of like your general foresty creatures, whereas you know, ones like the bats, things like that, only appear in the more cave-like areas. Oops, did not mean to hit you. Come along, my friend. This section actually has some of my favorite music in the game because it reminds me so much of bagpipes, and oh, I forgot that there's puzzles. I'm pretty sure this is just a math puzzle, I'm pretty sure. But I want to talk about the soundtrack for just a moment. I really like this particular section because it reminds me of bagpipes, which are very special to me. My family is Scottish, and so particularly like at my grandfather's funeral, we actually had a real, you know, bagpiper there, and it was very sad but so beautiful. And bagpipes are very special to me. Someone once described them that bagpipes, the sound that they make is an emotion you can't express. And I absolutely loved that concept because there is just something so magical about them. I obviously understand some people that hate them or think it's just this terrible sound, but if you have any sort of nostalgia for bagpipes, it's something so special, so beautiful, and it really is a sound that it describes this emotion that you really can't put words to. So let's see, 1 and 2, 2 and 3, 3 and 1. I'm pretty sure it was just multiplication. So let's see, the answer would be 2, 6, 3. Let's see if I remember this correctly. I'm pretty sure this secret was multiplication. Let's go ahead and try that out. Yay! Oh goodness, we did it. I remembered something. I feel like Dory from Finding Nemo. I'm so happy that I have remembered something. And what a beautiful scene we have here. I think I am going to end the video here because I don't want to show too much. I really just wanted to showcase some of the variety that you'll see in this game. The art is just beautiful and it has an amazing story to go with it. As I mentioned, this is a relatively short game, about 4 to 5 hours, so if you're looking for a bite-sized experience, I highly recommend this title. If you are a veteran platformer, this might be a little bit easy for you, but I found it challenging enough as someone who doesn't play a lot of platform or side-scrolling games or puzzle games for that matter. It was enough of a challenge for me, especially towards the end with some of the things that are just timing based, and I still really enjoyed it and had a great experience. I just want to showcase this next scene here, the way that the background, the trees look like stained glass, these little lanterns that we see hanging from some of the other trees. This game is phenomenal, not just for how it looks, but the little story that goes along with it, and I sincerely hope that you'll give it a try if you think that this interests you. Let me know in the comments below if you decide to pick up this game and what you thought of it. Like, comment, subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll see you next time. Bye!